Hey everyone, welcome to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, visionrecordingstudios.com, and here on my YouTube channel. And today I want to do a couple different videos. This is the first of probably 3 or 4 videos I'm going to do where we're comparing the same type of plugin across 2 different manufacturers. So let me explain quickly. So I get a lot of questions from students and people who buy my Made Easy series products about alternative plugins to achieve the same results. So for example, the 2 plugins that you see on your screen before you is on the bottom, the 1176 compressor by Universal Audio, and above it is the CLA76 by Waves. The same plugin emulated by 2 different manufacturers. So if you've watched any of my videos on YouTube, or if you've watched any of my Made Easy series products, the majority of them have, in some way, I use Universal Audio plugins. Not exclusively, but a lot of the plugins I use are Universal Audio. I'm a Universal Audio supporter. I've been using them for probably 10 or 12 years, since the mid-2000s, way back on the UAD1 platform, and I enjoy the way they sound. I'm used to the way that they work. I know what to expect, and so I've been using them for a long time. The problem with Universal Audio, with a lot of new and upcoming engineers or people who are getting into mixing and recording for the first time, is that they don't have the budget to invest in the Universal Audio hardware system. And if you don't know what that is, go to my YouTube channel and search out. I have a playlist that is dedicated to Universal Audio plugins, and the very first video I do, video 1 in that series, talks about the system itself, what you have to do to get involved in it, what the investment costs you to get involved in it, and it can be pretty expensive. The bottom end starts around $300 or $400, and it can go up to thousands of dollars, or a couple of $1,000s anyway, to invest in the hardware that you need to use Universal Audio plugins. And so a lot of my students don't have the means to do that, which is totally understandable. A lot of people don't, and I didn't for years. And so they ask me, they see that I use some of these plugins in my videos and in my training tools, and they ask, well, what is the alternative? What can I use? And then what are the differences? Are they the same? So one of the plugin manufacturers that I recommend a lot when you want to compare compressors, like we're going to do in this video, is the Waves. So again, we have the Universal Audio 1176, and then right above it we have the same emulation of the CLA, the Chris Lord-Alge 76 compressor. And what I'd like to do today is maybe take a couple of tracks and put these 2 compressors on there at the same settings and let you listen to the difference. Now, I don't know how this is going to come across on YouTube. When I've done video editing and all the audio gets compressed, the audio differences may be very subtle. I'll try to describe what I'm hearing, the differences as we go along. The best way to listen to these examples is through a good set of studio monitors or a good set of studio headphones. If you're listening to any of these, if you're watching this video on an iPad or on an iPhone using little earbuds, there's a pretty good chance you may not even hear the difference at all. Regardless between the 2 compressors, you may not even hear the difference between a compressed and an uncompressed signal. So anyway, so let's just jump right into it. So right now I have this. Let me just close these for a second quickly, and I will. This mix is completely done. I'm going to shut off. We're going to take a look at a snare track first. This mix has been completely done already. This was the song that was used for the Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 product, which was just released. You can head out to Home Recording Made Easy and check that out, where you'll get the audio files for the song, and I have like 12 hours worth of training on how I mixed it. But anyway, I'll just give you a little taste of what this song is, and then we'll jump into the snare track.
Raising uphill, falling like the hardest stone that ever fell. Blame it on a bad dream. No, it didn't mean a damn thing. Anything to keep yourself from coming clean.
Okay, so that's the song. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the snare track. Now, on this mix, on this snare, when I processed this snare, I used just a stock compressor for teaching purposes. And so that's what's being used right now. And we're compressing about 3 dB or so of compression. You can, let's see, I can solo this for you. You can see we're doing probably about 5 dB worth of compression. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the stock plugin for now, and we're going to open up the Universal Audio 1176. We're going to pin it, and then we're going to take a look at the waves as well. And I'm going to set up the Universal Audio one first, okay, which is the one on the bottom, the larger of the two. We're going to achieve about the same type of compression. Okay, and I'm going to turn up the snare track in the mix so you can hear this hopefully. So I'm going to start with a 4:1 ratio, and again, these compressors are laid out exactly the same way. I'll show you the Universal Audio, and the Waves is laid out exactly the same. Okay, so this is the 1176 LN version, LN meaning for low noise. There were 3 different types of 1176s created over the years. We will go through those in other videos, but we're taking a look at the blackface, which is probably the most popular one. So on the left here, you have an input dial, which is what how hard do you want to push the signal into the compressor, which will then adjust the threshold. Okay, you have an output, a makeup gain output to compensate for the extra volume you're getting from pushing signal into the compressor. We have an attack on top here. We have a release. Okay, number 7 on the attack and release would be a fast attack or a fast release. Number 1 would be a slow attack or a slow release. We have a ratio. We have 4, 8, 12, and 20 to 1 ratio. Okay, and then we have the gain reduction meter here. And then to the right of that, we have how we want the meter to behave. We have a gain reduction, or we can just shut off the plugin altogether. So we can shut it off and do an on and off comparison to compressed, uncompressed, or we can just bypass it here, either way, okay? And again, the CLA-76 is laid out exactly the same way. Okay, so for this snare, we're gonna go with a pretty fast release, and again, I'll adjust it as we go. We're gonna do kind of a medium style attack. We're going to stick it on a 4:1 ratio. We're going to keep our eye on the gain reduction meter here, and let me just play back this section. Okay, so on the heaviest hits, we're doing about 560 dB of compression. The average is somewhere between 3 and 4. Now we're clipping over here, and don't worry about that. It's because I turned up the track so you can hear it as a demonstration. I realize that it's clipping. Have no worries. We're not worried about that for this demonstration. So now let's balance the output of this compressor by lowering the output. So the before and after, before compression, after compression, volume-wise is the same. Okay, you want to make sure you do that whenever you're working with a plugin, especially like compression, where the more you compress, the more signal you push into this compressor, the louder it's going to get. And you want to make sure that your before and after volume is the same. We call that level matching the plugin. So you don't, if something is louder, it's a tendency for your ears and for your brain to think that if it's louder, it's better. But we're not looking for volume, we're looking for tone. Okay, and for how we control dynamics. So we can just do that by toggling on and off here. See, it's before. See how much quieter it is? Okay, so we need to lower the output to try to match. Okay, so now we're level matched. Okay, so I'm going to turn this up again. I'm going to turn the snare track up louder than it should be just so you can hear it. Okay, so this is the 1176 by Universal Audio compressors. So let's start with it off, and then we'll turn it on and you can hear what it's doing to the snare. Okay, hopefully you can hear that it's controlling that initial transient a little bit. It's making it not poke out as much. And there's a little bit of color that's happening to that as well, which again, it's subtle, but it's there. So now let's go to the difference. Really, the point of this video is to give you the difference between the two. So now I'm going to set up the CLA76 with the same settings. Okay, so we're going to turn the inputs and the outputs the same. Let's just see what the difference is. We're going to kind of go with a fast release. We're going to go with the same medium style attack. We're going to do a 4:1 ratio. We're going to shut off the universal audio. We're going to turn on the CLA76 and let's see what we get here. Okay, so right out of the gate, you notice that we're not getting as much compression. Even though the input's the same, we're not in the attack and release, all the settings are the same, but we're not getting as much compression. We need to push the input a little bit harder. Okay, so we level match the plugin volume-wise, so the volume before and after is pretty darn close to the same. Okay, so that's now what the CLA76 sounds like. And again, the input and output's slightly different. Okay, now you can say, well, why is that? Well, you got to remember that when these things are created, they're actually taking a physical hardware unit and doing an emulation of it. Now, no two pieces of hardware sound exactly the same. So the Universal Audio plugin, they modeled a very specific 1176 physically in their, studio lab or whatever, right? And the CLA76 is a Chris Lord-Alge, one of his personal 1176s is which one they modeled, right? So they're going to sound, the hardware would sound different. If you put these two pieces of hardware next to each other and did the same exact test, they would sound slightly different. And so will the plugin, supposedly. We're going to find out in a second. And therefore, on one plugin, the settings may be slightly different to achieve about the same amount of compression. Make sense? Okay, so now that we have the CLA76 kind of rolling here, okay, we shut off the Universal Audio plugin. I'm going to turn on the Universal Audio plugin. I'm just going to do a bypass. So we're going to start off with the CLA76, and then we're going to go over to the Waves version, and then we're going to go over to the Universal Audio version, and we're just going to toggle back and forth a bit just so you can hear the difference. I'll shut one off and then turn the other one on. So this is the CLA76 by Waves. Okay, so hopefully you can hear the difference there. What I hear, if you don't hear the difference, again, I don't know how this audio is going to come across on YouTube because the differences are fairly subtle. Is the 1176 by Universal Audio, to me, sounds a little bit more transparent. In the CLA76 by Waves, it seems like there's a little more hype. There's a little bit more of an obvious difference when you turn that one on, what it's doing to the overall tone of the signal. Okay, some can say it's, it's better or worse. I don't think that it's better or worse. It's just different. It has a little more hype. And I tend, when I use the Universal Audio plugins and compare them to the Waves counterparts, I've always tended to feel that the Waves seems to be a little bit more obvious. There's a little more hype. There's a little bit more color. There's a little bit more tone, where the Universal Audio ones tend to be a little bit more transparent. Now, if we were to push the Universal, now again, we're using the same settings, right? Now, if we were to push the Universal Audio one a little bit harder and leave the CLA76 alone, would we get that same result? Geez, I don't know. Let's check it out. So let's use the Universal Audio for a second. And let me push the compressor a little harder. Okay, so a little bit more color added there. We're pushing it quite a bit harder now. We're doing about 7 dB of compression. Again, if you're not familiar, over here in the top left hand corner, when I turn this amber, that bypasses the plugin. When it's not illuminated, the plugin is in play. So you can see that the Waves one is bypassed. Okay, so now let's compare that again to the CLA76. So I'm going to start off with the universal audio and see if I can get this loop a little bit better. Okay, and then the second pass, we're going to do the first pass through with universal audio, and then towards the end, I'm going to shut it off and turn on the Waves. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. Again, the CLA76 tends to be a little bit more colored to me than the universal audio. Which one do I like better? Well, that's a matter of opinion. I'm not going to say which one I like better. Which one do you like better? That's the whole point of this. Okay, so that's on a snare drum. So now let's, in the spirit of keeping this video somewhat short, let's go to a lead vocal track, because that might be a little, let's see if that's a little more obvious or not. I don't know. And I think on that lead vocal, we were already using a CLA76. This is just a Waves vocal writer. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's drop. We're going to solo this one up anyway. We're not going to do this in the context of a mix, just so you can hear the differences. And let's drop a universal audio plugin of the 1176. Okay, so again, in this particular mix, we use two compressors. We used the PreSonus compressor, which I'm going to turn off. We double stack the compressors, right? This was an EQ. Yeah, okay. So let's do the same thing. Let's put the 1176 on top or the CLA76, and then let's put the 1176 by Universal Audio on the bottom. And let's start off with about the same setting. So let's put the input, the output. Okay, we did a pretty slow attack, I think, here because we were double stacking the compressors, but we can adjust that. Or we did a pretty fast attack, excuse me. And then we did a fairly fast release, and we did a 4-to-1 ratio. And here is the universal audio version of this.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny.
Let me shut off the reverbs and delays just so you don't. So we just hear a dry vocal. Now again, we're really heavily compressing this. We're going to back off on the compression on the input because I had a PreSonus plugin compressor before these in the mix to kind of do all the heavy compression. This was just adding some more color. I've shut that one off now. So let me get back to where we should get some reasonable amounts of compression.
All you do is lie, even when you know it just ain't right. All you do is lie. All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie, even when you know it just ain't right. All you do is lie.
Okay, so universal audio set up. Now let's do the waves.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie, even when you know it just ain't right. All you do is lie. All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie.
Okay, so you can look at both gain reduction meters on both of these plugins, and we're compressing about the same amount. Okay, so let's start with the waves, the CLA76. I will just kind of during that passage, I'll just kind of click it on and off here so you can try to hear what this is doing.
Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie. All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie, Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, so this compressor obviously controls that dynamics. It gets a little bit more warm sounding and it pulls the vocal a little bit more forward, closer to you. Hopefully you can hear that over YouTube. Now let's bypass this. Let's go to the 1176 by Universal Audio and let's click that on and off.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, let me lower the input here because it's giving a little more compression than the waves.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie. All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, so same kind of thing. You can definitely hear it squish the vocal a little, which is good. It warms it up a little bit, and again, it kind of pulls it forward. It controls those transients pretty good, and it kind of doesn't let the vocal poke out of the mix too much. And again, we're doing about 5 to 7 dB-ish of compression on both of these. So now, again, the difference. Let's go back and forth between the two. So we're going to start off with the waves on top. And then, you know, at the end of the passage, I'm going to switch over to the Universal Audio one and see if you can hear the difference. Here is the waves.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, here's Universal Audio.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, so the differences I hear here in this example, if you can't hear this over YouTube, is again, the CLA76 by Waves tends to have a little bit different tonal aspect to it. It's a little more hyped, a little bit more colored in my opinion. The Universal Audio tends to be a little bit more transparent, but I can definitely hear this more than what you can hear it on the snare drum, okay? Again, they both sound great. They both are doing their thing. They're both compressing. They're both adding some color, tonal, and some harmonic distortion and some nice analog characteristics to the sound, but they sound a little bit different. Okay, so one more time, we'll go back and forth just so you can hear it again. Here's the Waves here's the Waves CLA76 first.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, and then here is the Universal Audio 1176.
All you do is lie. All you do is try to deny. All you do is lie. Even when you know it just ain't right, all you do is lie.
Okay, so hopefully you can hear the difference there. So again, the answer to the question for people who have asked me this question, you know, what can I use as far as an alternative to Universal Audio if I can't get, you know, from an investment standpoint, can't right now spend the money on going with all the hardware and then the cost of their plugins, by the way. And the Universal Audio package is typically more than the Waves. Not always, but they're typically more expensive. So is the Waves a good substitute? In my opinion is absolutely. You see, I own them both. There's a reason why I own them both. Why? Because they sound a little bit different from each other. They don't sound exactly the same. They're not supposed to sound exactly the same. Okay, these were plugins that were modeled to different hardware units physically, so they're not going to be exactly the same. As I said earlier, if you had both the Chris Lord Algae 1176 in person in front of you on your console, and you had the unit that Universal Audio modeled, and you listened to them back and forth in its hardware form, just like we're doing here, they would sound a little different. They both sound great. They both sound better than the stock compressor to my ears, but they're a little different from each other. So I own them both. Again, as far as pricing, go out to the websites and check them out. They're always changing, and depending on when you're watching this video, the prices could be completely different. What I will tell you is you can go out and demo the Waves stuff. You don't need any special hardware. It's a native plugin. You can just go out and demo their stuff. I think for, I want to say 7 days or 14 days. I forget. Waves is always changing it. But you can demo their stuff for free. And I urge you to do that. So if you're looking for some vintage style compressor, like an 1176, and you don't have the universal audio hardware and you're not invested in that, go check out the CLA76. It's a great substitute. And there are other companies on the market that make an 1176 substitute. Slate Digital makes one as well. I'm not going to compare that in this video. But the Waves, to me, is a really, really good substitute for universal audio. And I wouldn't say it's not as good. It's a substitute. I mean, it's equally as good. It sounds a little different. And it's certainly, from a price perspective, more cost efficient to go with the CLA76. Again, unless you already have the universal audio system, then you can use universal audio, or you can own both at one point if you choose to. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope this answers some questions. And again, both of these plugins you'll find on sale during different times of the year, especially Waves. When I bought the CLA76 collection, I think I paid less than $100. And the difference here quickly, and then we'll end this video, is when you buy the CLA76, you're not only getting the the blackface version, which is what we're looking at here. If you click on this thing called Bluey, you also get the blue stripe version, which is a separate plugin, which I'm going to do in another video. So for the cost of this plugin, which I think, you know, again, at the recording of this video is probably somewhere around a couple of $100, but I've bought this plugin for less than $100. I know I did. They go on sale a few times during the course of the year. And for that money, if you paid $100 or even $200, you're only paying $100 a plugin, and you get both plugins. In the universal audio, you can buy this this newer revision. This is the legacy version of this, which is an older version. Comes when you buy a universal audio hardware card. You'll get that for free. But to buy the new updated version, again, you buy the universal audio collection, which comes with 3 of these plugins. It comes with the blackface, it comes with the blue stripe, and it also comes with the anniversary edition, which is a third one, which we'll look at in another video. But they're a little bit more pricey typically. But again, Universal Audio always puts their plugins on sale. You can get that collection, those 3 compressors, on sale a couple of times during the year for probably $150 at the recording of this video. So from a price point, you know, the Universal Audios are typically a little bit more expensive until they go on sale. So the Waves is a great alternative. So again, I hope this video was helpful. For any questions, leave them below in the comment section. I'll be sure to answer them for you. And if you want more training, tips, tricks, concepts, techniques around everything home recording, mixing, and mastering, be sure to go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and check out the Made Easy series along with the Quick Mix series. And for more information on my mixing and mastering services, you can always head out to visionrecordingstudios.com. So until next time with another tip, trick, or concept or plugin comparison, this has been David with homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care.